Hey everyone, welcome to the next part of commentary with George Demick on George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. Let's get into it, and remember to download your own copy of this and many other public domain movies. Go to publicdomainmovies.net, and let's get into it. She finally came to.
Yeah, I'm sorry I punched you. Here's some slippers.
Yeah,
we're okay now, right? We're cool.
Yeah, we're cool. I got you some shoes. Maybe there's a nice sweater in there for you, a nice purse. Yeah. Turn on the sound just a little bit so we can hear what he's saying, because we're about to meet the other.
Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Keep tuned to your radio and television.
She ain't doing all right.
Instructions and further details of this continuing story.
Look, I don't know if you're hearing me. I'm going upstairs now.
It's almost as though some critical balance of
If anything should try to break in here, I can hear it from up there. I'll be down to take care of it.
Notice the window behind
Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to reinforce the windows and doors later.
Yes, the window behind him.
Yeah, it's not boarded up.
Oh. Well, he just said he needed to finish the window. But that's such a pretty window.
That one's not completely done. When they come up, it's not, that window's boarded.
Oh, another inconsistency. I was just about to say, but that window treatment is lovely with that matching chair in front of it.
Yep.
And there's Granny that no one has obviously checked on in months, going on a year, because she's already skeletized.
No, I think the deal there is that they actually ate down to her bone.
Okay, well that makes more sense. We never do see the rest of this family, do we?
No.
In the remake that they did just a few years ago, they actually, there was an entire family that lived there. A father, well, the wife had been killed, so they did keep true to that, but there was a father and his daughter and a couple of daughters. And of course, in the end, the twist on that one is that the daughters turn and then turn on everyone else.
What is?
It was a modern remake of this. It wasn't the best ever.
Oh, okay. It wasn't Tom Savini's.
No, it wasn't. No, this was like modern. It was like, I'd say it was after 2010 that it was made.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll share the link to it with you after this.
Why would you touch trying to do?
Well, look at how Hollywood is so, remake crazy right now anyway. I think it's always been a trend. She's gonna flip out. And here they are. You got Cooper. Tom was the man that charged at her.
Don't shoot! We're from town. City,
A radio.
County, Pennsylvania. The Butler County Sheriff has verified.
You can't tell me he didn't know
reports
that
of murder
radio was
victims
there.
being partially eaten by their slayers is true. No further details available at this time. However,
How long you guys been down there? I could use some help up here.
That's the cellar. It's the safest place.
You mean you didn't hear the racket we were making up here?
How were we supposed to know what was going on? Could have been those things for all we knew.
That girl was screaming. Sure, you must know what a girl screaming sounds like. Those things don't make any noise. Anybody would know somebody ever needed help.
Look, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on from down there.
We thought we could hear screams, but for all we knew, that could have meant those things were in the house afterward.
And you wouldn't come up and help.
Well, if there were more of
The
it,
racket sounded like the place was being ripped apart. How were we supposed to know what was going on?
Now, wait a minute. You just got finished saying you couldn't hear from down there. Now you say it sounded like the place was being ripped apart. It would be nice if you get your story straight, man.
All right, now you tell me. I'm not going to take that kind of a chance when we got a safe place. We luck into a safe place, and you're telling us we got to risk our lives just because somebody might need help, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
all right, why don't we settle this?
Mister, we came up. Okay, we're here. Now I suggest we all go back downstairs before any of those things find out we're in here.
They can't get in here.
You got the whole place boarded up?
Yeah, most of it. All but a few spots upstairs. They won't be hard to fix.
You're insane.
I love the
Cellar's
fact
the
that he
safest
comes
place.
up, and the very first thing, this guy's holding a gun on him, but there's a radio.
I know.
You can shoot me in the back, but I'm going to go listen to it.
Yep. Now, also in the basement is Cooper's wife and daughter, who has been bitten and is slowly deteriorating. We don't see much of her until the very end. And then Tom's girlfriend, Judy.
Correct.
And
These
now,
guys, this is
Go
just amazing. The arguments that go on here, and it's so real. You know?
yeah, it's just like, okay, we've just met, but I'm about to rip you a new one. Here's some of this.
20, 30, maybe 100 of those things. And as soon as they know we're here, this place is going to be crawling with them.
Well, if there's that many, they'll probably get us wherever we are.
Look, the cellar. The cellar, there's only one door, right? Just one door, that's all we have to protect. Tom and I fixed it so it locks and boards from the inside. But up here, all these windows, why, we'd never know where they were going to hit us next.
You got a point, Mr. Cooper. But down in the cellar, there's no place to run to. I mean, if they did get in, there'd be no back exit. We'd be done for. We can get out of here if we have to. And we got windows to see what's going on outside. But down there with no windows, if a rescue party did come, we wouldn't even know it.
But the cellar is the strongest place.
The cellar's a death trap.
I don't know, Mr. Cooper. I think he's right. You know how many's out there?
I don't know, maybe 6 or 7.
Look, you two can do whatever you like. I'm going back down to the cellar, and you better decide. Because I'm going to board up that door, and I'm not going to unlock it again no matter what happens.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Cooper.
No, I'm not going to wait. I've made my decision, now you make yours.
Now, wait a minute. Let's think about this. We can make it to the cellar if we have to. And if we do decide to stay down there, we'll need some things from up here. So let's at least consider this a while.
At all costs. Late reports reaching this newsroom tell
You bought
I really think the way that Tom was like trying to play, mediator there, what was interesting. I mean, he's like, now we can do both. Let's do both. We need some stuff down there.
Well, in thinking about it, it's like, oh my God, it's the Republicans versus the Democrats, with the moderator just losing control of it all.
Exactly.
And I've
Let's-
never seen it as a political thing, but my God, right there that was it, man. It's
Yeah.
this way, it's that way, it's this way, it's that way. Can't we get along? No.
But can't we just work together for the common good? And this is what's great, I think, about all Romero's movies is when the zombies attack, you see them. It's never like a straightforward attack. You always see hands coming through openings, and it's just weird the way he does it. Weird in a good way,
Oh, absolutely. And this kind of this particular scene kind of demonstrates, okay, you can shoot them, but unless you put them down by destroying the brain, which here comes the shot, boom. And let's move that tree branch just a little bit so we can. There we go. All right.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, now here's one of the best scenes of the movie. I believe there's even a naked zombie in here.
Here
Yep.
she comes.
There she is. I will have to blur that for the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy in the boxers is okay, I guess, and the guy in the toga. What the hell was he at?
Who knows?
And here comes Marilyn Eastman, who's Mrs. Cooper,
Yep.
eating a fake bug.
Yep. We haven't seen her yet in as Mrs. Cooper, but from what I understand, she was kind of a klepto. That she would take things from around the set, take them home with her.
Brilliant. I
Yeah.
never heard that.
Yeah. Can you imagine though? You maybe go over to her house for lunch, and isn't that my clock that we used in the movie?
I left it there, and I was going to come back to get it when we were done, and it was gone.
Bitch, I'm taking that back. Here we have Tom being indecisive. Let's listen to this.
She can't possibly. I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly take all the racket, those things smashing through the windows.
Well, you're her father. If you're stupid enough to go die in that trap, that's your business. However, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It is
Yeah.
tough for the kid that her old man is so stupid. Now, you get the hell down in the cellar. You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
You bastards. You know, I won't open this door again. I mean it.
Mr. Cooper, with your help, we could...
With my help.
Let him go, man. His mind is made up. Just let him go.
Wait a minute. Judy, come on up here, honey.
This is gonna be our first look at Judy.
You're gonna let them get hurt too, huh?
It's all right, honey. Go ahead.
That's reassuring. She knows nothing about what's going up, and it's like, oh, you're going to let them get hurt too. Okay.
And there he goes. And then once he goes down the stairs, you see the contempt that his wife has for him. And Tom's still trying to be the mediator and talk him out of there. And here we see the most sensible female in the whole roster of characters, Judy. She actually tries to help, but ends up causing quite a calamity, which I think is ironic. Yeah, let's listen to
Hold it up tight.
this exchange.
What about Tom and Judy?
They want to stay up there and let them.
There are two other people upstairs, a man and a girl.
We heard you screaming.
Yeah, but I didn't know who they were, and I wasn't about to take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not, Harry.
She's having a really bad day. Can't get no respect.
Is she all right?
I don't know what it is. She feels warm. Maybe it's shock.
Where'd you get the bandage?
Some laundry in a basket. I tore a sheet.
The fact that they are actually married and that's their daughter is pretty cool.
Oh, I did not know that.
Stay
They were married.
upstairs.
That's awesome.
Too many ways those monsters
That
can
little
get in
girl
up there.
lays there perfectly still. It's awesome.
Right. We'll see when they come begging me to let them in down here.
53?
Important, isn't it?
What?
To be right, everybody else to be.
Do you think that I don't know, I've always thought in most horror movies, like with zombies, that it's always by accident that people realize that if you're bitten, you're going to die and you're going to turn. No one ever knows that from the onset. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. You know, dealing with their characters a little bit. I'm not sure if that was in the script or not, but it's such an amazing thing that what married couples would do. He runs out of cigarettes, throws his empty pack away, and then just rummages through her purse without
Thinking.
And he thought about it. It's like, okay, I know there's another pack here somewhere.
Right. And she's like, that's mine. And you can see the contempt.
There's just this tension that their marital thing is just on edge all the time, and neither one of them likes each other, and
Yeah. And it's the 60s, so you kind of had to stay married,
Yeah.
So she's staying for the little girl, and she's miserable, and he's miserable, and probably the little girl's miserable. Oh, and here's perfect.
Harry and I could come upstairs.
Okay, yeah, right away.
She's wearing the pants now, Harry.
Will you do it?
Do I have to?
Look, honey, nothing's gonna get done with them down there and us up here. Do this for me.
Okay.
So basically, he's telling Judy to go back down into the basement and watch the little girl.
Yep. So that they can come up and watch TV.
Yeah. I think that's a bum deal. Many times I thought, why did they just leave her down there? It's not like she's going anyplace. But then again, I know she's really sick. So perfectly still, that little girl.
Yeah.
Unless that could be a doll, though. That looks kind of like a doll.
No, I think that was they wouldn't have had budget for that, so that's her.
Okay. Yeah, she's breathing.
And this whole basement is nowhere near Evans City. This is downtown Pittsburgh. Inside, this is the basement of 247 Fort Pitt Boulevard, where they had their offices.
Wow. So the house didn't have a usable basement?
No, not for what they wanted.
Yeah, that would have looked a little different being in a crawl space.
Yeah. Yes. He's almost parrot-like.
Yeah. And here comes her mom being the nurturer.
Oh, no, here we got fire. Fire bad.
Yeah. Poor Barbara. It's like the lights are on and the engine's running, but there's no one behind the wheel. And she's going to smoke now. And I'm going to turn this on so you can hear the soundtrack of this.
Don't be afraid of me. I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
Oh. Okay, fire gone.
It's ridiculous. Look at this.
It's like the end of the world's here, and that match is the tipping point.
Yeah. But he doesn't react when he lights up, though.
No. I swear these people are chain smokers.
Well, it was the 60s where, it was good for you.
Oh, yeah.
No one knew all the bad things it does.
Yeah. And now you see where he's bitching about the job that Ben did boarding up the windows. Oh, television. There's probably 4 stations, but one of them's going to have the news. And I think we will watch one of the news broadcasts. So as you were saying, these were actually real TV anchors and TV reporters, right?
Yeah, Chilly Billy, or Bill Cardille, the one that's in the field with the sheriff and stuff, he ran our Chiller Theater every Saturday night. And he just, he also did did studio wrestling, and he did some other things on the news stations, on the newscasts.
Well, let's have a listen.
Being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims. First eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted. The medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially devoured. I think we have some late word just arriving, and I'll interrupt to bring this to you. This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation of reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals has concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking human victims. It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact. When this emergency first began, radio and television was advising people to stay inside, behind locked doors for safety. Well, that situation has now changed, and we're able to report a definite course of action for you. Civil defense machinery has been organized to provide rescue stations with food, shelter, medical treatment, and protection by armed National Guardsmen. Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list of rescue stations. This list will be...
And he's just now reading a list of rescue stations. Do you recognize any of those places as being places where you live near?
Oh, well, Sharon and Youngstown, and, you know, I mean, you got the names of the cities, yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Was that Youngstown, Pennsylvania, or Youngstown, Ohio?
Probably Pennsylvania.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, it's, you know, and that guy's like, okay, so the dead are coming back to life, and he doesn't miss a beat when he's reading the thing, you know? There's
Right.
no, like, what? You know?
Yeah. Well, it kind of reminds me of the old, like I've seen footage of the old Walter Cronkite broadcast when he was talking about JFK being assassinated. I mean, you could tell he was emotional, but he never really broke cadence, you know? So I think it was just...
How they were trained?
Yeah. I think...
Oh, that's cool.
I think you had to courage up when you were on the air. Very, very, very big difference between today's press and the press of the yesteryear. Yeah.
In this and the phenomenon, there's a definite connection. A definite connection. In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to cause these mutations?
There was a very high degree of radiation.
Just a minute.
I'm not sure that that's certain at all. I don't think that has been irrefutably explanation that we have at this time.
In other words, it is the military's viewpoint that the radiation is not the cause of the mutation.
I can't speak for the entire military at this time, gentlemen. I must disagree with these gentlemen presently until this is irrefutably proved.
Everything is being done that can be done.
We'll have to hurry for our next meeting.
Professor, you feel that there is a definite connection.
What technique was used to make the inside the television shots?
It's a mat. Basically, they just they reshot it with inside the oh god. You're talking about techniques that are...
And well, this is actually Washington D.C. They actually took a road trip up to D.C. to film this one scene. That's dedication.
And this was all guerrilla shot. They you know, put emblems and flags on the limousine, and just was shooting it. And people were like, "What's going on?" And they didn't know anything that was going on.
What's really funny is those 3 stars look like Russian, like a Soviet, you know, because this was the height of the Cold War, getting really into the heart of the Cold War.
Right.
The dude with the mustache looked like he might have been a Cuban officer, and then you see those limousines with the 3 stars. Surprised it didn't start a panic.
You know, and it's you know, they just went ahead and did it, and I don't know if they had any issues with any police or anything. I think they just got in there, shot it, and got out, you know?
Right. Well, you can imagine, because that's the Capitol building in the background. They just went up right in front of the Capitol building with cameras and official-looking cars, and makes me wonder if anyone stopped them.
I never heard that they got stopped. I think maybe as they were packing up, a police officer might have come up to them, but they just went ahead and packed up and left.
Took off. And here
So interesting. They just had a thing for Beaver Falls, which is pretty close to where they shot Day of the Dead. So.
Oh. Yeah, Day of the Dead is the one you were in, and it takes place in an underground military bunker with a kind of a nondescript location.
Yep.
And that's where we see Bud, the zombie that still retains some of his human intelligence.
Yes.
Which was a trope that continued through Romero's movies. You get all the way to Land of the Dead, which was the final one in this canon, this sequence. It was Night of the Living Dead. There was Day of the Dead. Then Dawn of the Dead was probably one of the more famous ones where they were in the mall. And then you had Land of the Dead came, 20 years after that?
Yes.
After Dawn?
Yeah.
And that one was the last one in that particular canon. And then
right.
he did.
And it was actually night, dawn, day. So.
Right. So he followed through the sequence, and then ended with Land of the Dead, which was kind of a switch, but it was kind of finishing off this sequence. And then he had the reboot with Diary and Island of the Dead. But those were
Diary and Survival.
Survival of the Dead. I don't know, because it was on an island. I don't know why I want to call it Island of the Dead.
Oh, there's McKeesport.
Yeah.
That's where I saw it.
Yeah. And those were interesting changes because even though it was Romero, he went from the narrative, which, was this, can't just direct narrative camera to point of view. So, that was, they were made after things like the Blair Witch Project, things which made the point of view, found footage stuff kind of popular. And then Diary and Survival of the Dead were, Diary was 100% point of view. Survival had some point of view, but he mainly went back to the narrative.
Right.
But I think they were both really good. But my original point, Land of the Dead, you even see the trope of the intelligent zombie in Land, because you see what's the zombie's name? The big biker or the big trucker dude?
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. You see him actually being intelligent and starting to lead the zombie hordes. So you kind of see an evolution of intelligent zombie throughout all of his movies.
Oh, absolutely. And Dawn of the Dead, the one guy with the rifle.
Right.
That wants to get the better rifle.
Right.
So.
Right. Do you think he knew that this would develop into the phenomenon that it's become?
I don't think anybody could know. I mean, I mean, once it happened, it was like very cool, and he knew. But I don't think anybody, when you make Night of the Living Dead, it's they couldn't even have begun to thought that was going to be what it turned out to be, and how it affected. I mean, this changed the horror genre completely. There was nothing the same after this.
Right.
And no, I don't think he could have guessed that this would have. That's like anybody making a film for and going, hey, let's make a film and get out there and it's going to be Blair Witch. I mean, the Blair Witch people didn't know it was going to be Blair Witch.
No, it didn't. They didn't. That was actually a phenomenon. And, I even thought, for a time, like everybody did, that was actually real. And then I saw the actress that played Heather in Mallrats. I'm like, hey. So.
But it was for me, it was amazing that when he died, it devastated. But I didn't realize how worldwide people knew George.
Oh yeah,
knew of him. I mean, when Variety called him a horror icon, and and I'm like going, Variety knows. I knew Fango did, Fangoria did,
Right.
But I never really thought that he had that reach. For whatever reason, I never put that together.
This movie that we're watching kicked off an entire genre of horror. I mean, I mean, zombies were like a thing in the voodoo religion, but I think outside of Romero, no one besides a few movies specifically about voodoo had ever traipsed into the area, and he's definitely the only one that made them flesh eaters to begin with. You know, they were just kind of like dead, mindless corpses that walked around.
Well, I mean, everyone at this point, I mean, he created these, and you know, and he established the rules, and everybody abided by the rules, with the exception of like Return of the Living Dead.
Right.
But you know,
well, that one was done for comedy. That's a dark comedy.
Yeah, you know, but I mean, it's for the most part. I mean, everyone stuck to the rules, and now you have, you know, The Walking Dead, and you have all the other things that have gone on, and it's all, none of it happens if Night of the Living Dead didn't get made.
Exactly. The only one that broke some of the rules was Zack Snyder and his remake of Dawn, where he made the zombies run full speed.
Which, if zombies come back and start running, you cash it in right there, because there ain't no getting away.
Exactly. Exactly. And, you know, the same with Zombieland. Those zombies could run full speed.
Yeah, but, I mean, and that is honestly the problem that I had. I didn't have a problem with running zombies, but it just made the antagonist too overpowering. There was no way to beat these things.
Yeah, because you've got sheer numbers. George Romero always made it the sheer numbers was what would eventually overtake you. They were slow moving, but this scene is powerful right here.
You know, and you being stupid, or you not getting along just in order to survive, like happens throughout this movie and throughout all of his movies, really.
Right. The human conflict is always center stage. Yeah. Because no matter how you slice it, humans are the most dangerous species ever. Live, normal humans, because we are tribal, and we tend to want to get our own way. And I think this is the only like instance in this whole movie of them working together. He's basically throwing Molotov cocktails made out of moonshine and other stuff out there to create a diversion for Ben and Tom to go take the truck over to the gas pump and pump it full of gas so they can get the hell out of there and get to a rescue station. And how did they do these burns? Was that couldn't be CGI? That's definitely not CGI. Was that like a flash effect?
No, they had the guy wear a couple layers of clothes and caught the outside of his clothes on fire.
So that was a live burn.
Oh yeah, my 22-year-old son was like appalled when I'm going, no, he's actually throwing Molotov cocktails out the window. He's like, what? That's not safe. And I went, you know, yeah, okay, but I didn't make the movie.
Right. You do what you do. And here comes Judy to try to help. I don't know why she decided to run out the door, other than just Cooper, you know, scaring the piss out of her, which I can understand.
You know, and now comes the fun part of watching Ben and the torch and the actors playing zombies.
Yep.
Because that torch, I don't know, that torch gets really close sometimes. Yeah. I wonder if any of them got scathed with it.
I know. You can tell right there they were kind of stepping back a little bit to give him time to get in the truck.
Oh yeah, but when he's running back.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's Bill Hines when they just set his jacket on fire. So you know, there's that. But that's just Bill. Set him on fire. It's okay.
Oh, because that was an actual live pull. There was no.
Yeah, there was no cable or anything. He was hanging onto the bumper of the car.
You had to be tough to be an actor in independent films in the 60s. Here, it's either dusk becoming night or dawn becoming morning right there. And now it's night again. And he has plenty of time if they continue to be slow moving. And now none of the keys that they found work. So Ben's going to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, and no one's worried about that. Excuse me, you're going to shoot off the lock on a gas pump? Oh,
That
okay.
was the stupidest, not the, now he's got the truck on fire, but the stupidest thing. I mean, why would you be so wild with the gas like that? Just dumb. Now here we go. And, you know, I remember I said that Judy was going to screw things up. We're about to see why, how.
Well, to be fair, it's not her. It's only her fault that she came.
Yeah.
You know?
And leave Ben. Just leave Ben.
You know, it's like you got this trail going all the way to the gas pump. Pulling away the truck is really going to stop something. Well, I guess if you know it's going to blow up, yeah.
And now her jacket's caught. And Tom's trying to help her. They actually got out the easiest of anyone. I hate to say it, but they did. And now comes one of the most iconic scenes here in a few minutes when you actually see zombies eat cooked dinner.
Oh, yeah. But Ben has to make it back to the house first.
Yep. Oh, yeah, now he finally remembers that headshot. Well, that headshot didn't, well, that might have been a face shot.
Look at how close that's coming.
I know.
You're not getting paid. You're an investor or just one of the townspeople. Hey, you want to be a zombie? Yeah, that sounds good. Hey, we're going to have this torch and we're going to, you know, just try
to
put
it right in your face. Put it right in your face.
Here's this lady, and she's like, well, wait a minute. No, I don't think so.
No.
Right,
I'm just going to back up. No, I don't think so. That was somebody's mom that they brought along. And she's like, nah, I don't think so. Oh, yeah, and here's where Cooper won't let him in. He's about to go back into the basement and leave Ben outside. Boom. You better hide in that basement.
And see, you know, as much of an ass as he is, Cooper still comes and tries to do. I mean, he's struggling with himself on doing the right stuff.
Right. He has that instinct. I mean, he has a wife and daughter. He's trying to protect them. I understand.
You know, there's no, for lack of the little bit of characterization that you see, all of these characters have these moments where they're real.
Boom. Yep. But I don't blame Ben for doing a smackdown.
So Dwayne gets to punch a white woman in the 60s and beat the hell out of a white guy.
White man.
Yeah, no problems there.
Definitely a man that could be a stand-in for Carol O'Connor. So how ironic that he's beating the hell out of Archie Bunker. Having a bad day there, Cooper. And now the scene that I was talking about, and we're gonna.
It's dinner time.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn on this so you can get this. That sound effect. I love how they all come in and just grab like one piece.
They're for the most part, with the exception of these two, they must be brothers. They don't really fight over their food.
No, they all went in and grabbed one piece. It's like the family reunion when everybody's reaching into the KFC bucket. They all get one piece. I'm taking it that was a turkey leg. And a beef liver.
Yeah, they went to a packing house and got intestines and got all that stuff. And these zombies that came out to do it were some of the investors for the movie, some of their clients at the commercials.
Wow.
And they're like, here, you want to eat this stuff? Yeah,
so
we're doing the movie.
So Romero and his team did commercials prior to this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's an amazing one where it's for I think Calgon,
Uh-huh.
where they did a whole thing of the Fantastic Voyage, where they shrink them down, but they're going in to clean up the clothes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And here is where she is telling them about the car she has, or that her and her brother had. And Cooper wants to go get it, but then she says that the keys her brother had, and, well, her brother's dead. She's over it. You can tell, even in The Walking Dead, I mean, I know it's now officially been canceled, but
I know. Well, yeah, it's going to be 2 more years before it goes off, and then, but they got all these spin-offs going on, and
yeah. Well,
it'll be around for a few more years, not Walking Dead, but.
Well, my whole point is, like, in these, like, this is a movie, so it's, it's very condensed. It's not like The Walking Dead where we see them years at a time. But do you think in this sort of situation, you always can tell when somebody has officially given up and they want to die. They just want out of it. And I think Cooper's wife has approached that just from the look on her face.
Yeah, I think she's there. I mean, but she's also, once again, like her relationship with him, she's there for her kid.
Right. He wanted to get all the miles he could out of those animal parts, didn't he? Hey everyone, that's where we're going to end for today. Join us tomorrow for the next part of commentary on Night of the Living Dead. Until next time, keto comment.